Yes, so as we prepare for the next session, I just want to say thank you to Buncombe County. Thank you for having us here for our 4th annual Cape Fear Community Events Health and Racial Equity Summit. And I was reflecting back on yesterday while we were working at the park. We were on it, but then there was a component that came aboard: music. Once the music started, we went to work. How many of you can have some music or a song and it actually just moves you in a way that nothing else will? You know, music is a part of you. I love music, and it has a natural way of calming. That was something our DJ used to say back in the day: music calms the savage beast. And with that, while we're preparing, I'm going to share a little tune with you that was shared with me on the long march. I know Knowledge was there. We had a long march on Justice and Unity. We were in Asheville, and we were on the 22nd and 23rd. But the tune just stayed with me, and hopefully it will stay with you, because it represents what we do, why we do it, how we come together. Because we do love and have compassion for one another and the work we do. So it goes: where you go, I will go, my brother. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, my sister. Where you go, I will go. 'Cause your people are my people. Your people are my. Your stories are my stories. Your divine, my divine. I won't sing it with me. Where you go, I will go, my brother. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, my sister. Where you go, I will go. 'Cause your people are my people. Your people are my. Your stories are my stories. Your divine, my divine. Hey. All right. Next, we're going to have our brother Will Baxter to come up. He's going to have at Buncombe County CHWs. I don't know who's on this panel, but I'm looking forward to this awesome panel here. Come on, my brother. This is my brother since the day we met. So let's get started.
Thank you. We're going to have a panel discussion with some of the Buncombe County. Anybody goes up, check your camera here, and if you can move it, you look back up here.
Move it, yeah, move it for yourself. There you go. So again, why I'm saying that, because each one of us is going to be edited. Each one of us, right, is going to be a part of, I'm saying, the final product, right? And so we want to make sure this is a collective effort. We want to share the value and benefit of it. So I want to see your beautiful face.
So we're in year 2 of doing community health work with violence prevention professionals here. We've seen a lot of great things that have happened. So in the last year, we've had a lot of events in the community, really just getting our footing really in community. Before I called the panel, I was being missed, not thanked. One of the biggest events that we were able to hold last year, Knowledge, will you please stand up? Knowledge helped come up with the idea of the 48 hours of peace that brought people from a lot of places around the country here, panel discussions, a lot of important topics were tackled, and Knowledge was the brainchild behind the 48 hours of peace. So I just want everybody to get knowledge. also cohort to become violence prevention professionals in the spring of 2023. So Castro is also one of the first members that went through as a violence prevention professional. He is now with Operation Gateway. They're doing great work over there as well. So Castro. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring up the peace team, the Buncombe County CHW-VPPs that are on the clock, boots on the ground for Buncombe County. So let me have Daniel Young, AKA Turk. That was Wendy Brooks. Come on, Walter Brandon. Mr. Tony Shivers. Mr. Sean, AKA PC Coleman. All right, so let's go ahead and let y'all have a seat there. I got you.
We got this right here. We can just do this. That's the seat space. Yeah. Oh, no, hold on. Oh, wow, what'd I do? Can you get rid of that? Hold on. What's that right there? Is that my computer? Is that, oh, don't touch nothing. Don't touch nothing. Hold on. No, go back. No, push the back button, which you do every time. See, go back. Okay, then do no. No. Oh, that's on my computer. Oh, excellent. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Hit back. Right there, yeah. So it's interesting, just for the record, guys, it looks kind of like shady here, but on the computer, you guys look good, right? Yeah, looks right? Yeah. Right, I'm gonna do this real quick. You can turn it. Yeah. So everybody can see. Perfect. Okay, guys.
All right, before I start with the questions, one other thing that I have to do. I'm never gonna go into space without, she always said I put her on the spot. Ms. Hannah Levinson, will you please stand up?
Stand up, Ms. Hannah.
So none of these boots on the ground getting paid on the clock, community health workers would not have been possible without having prior to any of us being hired to do this work, prior to them selecting CFCR&HE as the model that Buncombe County was going to go with. And she deserves a round of applause. All right. I'm going to give you all the opportunity to properly introduce yourselves and why you were brought you to this work. So we'll start with you first.
What brought me to this work? Here, Chris, being Asheville, one of the, back in our day, one of the baddest communities in Asheville. Seen Mr. Hayes do a lot of great work as a kid. mother, my grandmother was doing some good work, and I started doing the work. I was the problem in the community, selling drugs, doing a lot of harm. And yesterday was a good time for me to get back to one of the communities that I would terrorize. So, just to be an example, be the example that we want the community to be. I mean, instead of being that problem in the community. I've seen a lot of work that Mr. Hayes was doing. It was just something that I know that I'm good. Having a felony, it was something else that was holding me back. But as of now, it can't hold me back. Something that I can fulfill. I can teach the young guys that they out here selling drugs. The gang stuff I don't know nothing about, but the good life I do. I can't speak on stuff that I know about. The gang stuff I can send them to my brother Knowledge of Castro, somebody that has no depth, but this is my community. I'm from Asheville, and I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. I'm probably gonna die here, which is cool, because this is the love that I have for my community. My name is Sean Smart, and it's like Turk, Hillcrest was and is, home. Thought about what really drove me to this. For me, man, community health work started waiting for this job with me. I saw people doing the work, such as Mr. Hayes, a few others that right now I can't name, but including that was hustling from our neighborhood. Those were the first people that would help us when we was hurting or our people came up short in the community, no matter how it might have looked to the outside world or look like to law enforcement. People that really that looked out was people that people considered being bad. And so I took on some of those traits, protecting, trying to provide as much as I could. And that was kind of my first introduction. I didn't know it then, but as I look at what we do now, trying to find resources and trying to be pillars in the communities and going out, that's basically where it stemmed from for me. So having this opportunity, it was natural. So it wasn't nothing that I really needed to be trained on, but maybe being more polished when it comes to certain things. And but outside of the work, that's what attracted me. It was already in me. I just followed suit.
My name is Thomas Phillips. I got into this work because I was a sore loser. I'm very competitive, and I was one of the hardest people that can play anything without getting into a fight. If you won, I still fought you at the end, so I get even. And so my thing was, in community, I was like that. If it was in standing on the corner, I would be the first one to the car. If it was doing devilment, destruction to the community, I was that guy that went and did it. I wouldn't ask nobody to do it. But now, in retrospect to that, I'm still competitive doing the right thing. So, in doing the right thing, I'm an entrepreneur, and the value system that comes with me being a part of this community is the roots that we have in this community and the value that we bring. I only was doing things because I was blind, but once I got the knowledge and information I need to level things out, it allowed me to give some structure, and then it plants us in a good position, not only to help my family, and also pour out into the community, your neighbors, your friends, your co-workers, the people that you have influence and impact. So I'm into this work because once I understood that I had the power of influence, I didn't want to die, be on my deathbed knowing that I had this gift, and I let it out with it.
Maybe Brooks, Brooks community, but why I got to work, so it drove me to connect with the mothers, for that type of thing.
My name is Walter Bradley, and what brought me to this work was I'm standing on the shoulders of the elders in my community that were already doing this work before I had the name. They prepared for me that they weren't able to take advantage of. So they pushed me out there because they were just like, you need to figure out the second half of this. And once I was out there, academics, I started learning the systems and why these invisible walls started popping up. So that led me to the racial equity work that I do. And I was attacking racism and all of the barriers in between the resources. And then the call increased in my life. Now, the opportunity to be in community, I can start from individual to the community, up to the system. Now that I understand the systems, I can come down. So I'm running in two directions at the same time. So that's my drive, and that's the problem.
So on this side, it goes like this way this time. On a day-to-day basis, what does the life of a community health worker look like for you?
Me, since I'm not from here, building relationships genuinely. I don't have a history, so I can just walk in and make connections without having anything to hold me back. So once those relationships got built, and then with partnerships with folks that are from the neighborhood, I can move in a different way and get trust, and then develop programs to then change the culture.
So with my day, it will be from taking lessons, job interviews, to speaking with people within the legal system, some of my clients, advocating for them, through the court systems, sometimes regular conversations.
Me, it's like driving in traffic. Some days it's hectic. Some days you get in a wreck, you got to deal with the consequences. And then some days ain't nobody on the road. So I just take full advantage of when things are not happening and you have peace and the structure and stability. But when you get those phone calls at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, that somebody being shot or something that happened, and most of the time it's just like you in reaction mode, but then you gotta understand too everything that you've been separated from. So you gotta have, I call it my it's in a more professional setting. I'm gonna just say it's my safe haven to be able to detach and figure out what's best for me before I go and run into a situation. Because I know I'm always in survival. If I think back to everything that the fear produces survival. And I want to make sure that I'm not in fear when I'm helping people in the community.
Oh, man, daily life for me with community health work, it varies. Sometimes we're putting out fires, stopping fights. I provide resources. Someone may call, I had a young lady call, has a child that is autistic, doesn't have a car, doesn't have resources for them to get one-on-one. So figuring out daily things about while still trying to stay sane myself and be able to be, like Max said, make sure that I can provide, that I'm safe, and so that I can be safe in community and provide services that I need to. I have a lot of older women on my caseload that they just don't take no for an answer, no matter what I say. I said, you know, Sue, I can't come. She be like, well, I'll see you at 3. Sometimes I just be like, I don't know if she heard me. You know, at this point, it really don't matter because a lot of, you know, I deal with a lot of you know, I know like those things where I mean, you know, that makes me laugh or just, it's just funny. It's just a good balance, man. You know what I mean? It's, like I said, it's those days where you running and somebody that got hurt, or you dealing with somebody that don't take 3 hours to go pay every bill with money orders instead of paying them online. So it's just, you know, I would just sum it up to being a chameleon. That's what it is for me, being able to adjust on the fly and making sure that I just show up as my authentic self. And, you know, it's kind of what the day looks like.
My day is being able to be able to shift, be a shifter, be consistent with the people that you are serving. Make sure that you give them good, positive solution. Tell them when they're wrong. I deal with a lot of youth. My day consists on going to the school, going to the court, speaking on their behalf, whether they messed up or, you know, something wrong. They just give them that good information, whether they out here doing BS, tell them where it's gonna lead them to. Not just being not soft or sugarcoating anything, just being real authentic as you can be. These kids gonna be able to see what kind of BS you're about. If you ain't got no love for them, that's the community. Our community is being let down so much, so we gotta be there consistently, no matter what the problem is. And we gotta show some kind of compassion. So that's what my job is. I mean, getting the 3 o'clock calls from the parents, a son being shot, being able to give them the reassurance they're gonna be all right. Dealing with storms on the road, not just dealing with storms of mental health, inside and emotional that we can't stop. Just be there to support. That's my job.
So, Turkey, you mentioned storms. So, on September 27, 2024, tropical storm hit us pretty hard. None of us had any idea of the impacts when we got up that point. But something shifted in all of us, and I was able to see that shift in this team and so many other community organizations. Talk about how mentally we're seeing the impact that the storm had on Western North Carolina, the Asheville community at large. Talk about how that affected you.
That night before the storm, we left out of my house and seen 2 guys OD. One passed and one didn't. And that started the nightmare right then and there. I had my community sitting out there still partying while 2 people was coming to me. And me freezing up, knowing that I couldn't save the guy, having the needle in my car. We was able to call the police, the ambulance, and get one of the guys support. That started the first night of the storm. Waking up, seeing this disaster the next day was like, boom, what's next? But for me, it was just a shift. To be able to do whatever that was needed for the community. I saw like man, a lot of these companies coming in real line and picking and choosing who they want to help. But at that time, it wasn't no picking and choosing. We were all one. Black, white, no matter what color you are, we all was affected by this thing. So it was on us to come together as one. And me as being in my community to be that example. I wasn't able to go to every other community because of the situation, but I was there to make an impact where God needed me. Reassuring my community that we're going to make it through. We did. We're still dealing with a lot of triggers right now, trauma, which is, I mean, something we all got to deal with.
So, you know, how, once you saw the impact that the storm had on Western North Carolina, how did it affect?
To be honest, man, for me, it was kind of my instincts kicked in. I grew up. Some days I woke up and there wasn't no lights. Some days it wasn't no water. We had to go try to go outside, and we kept tuning to turn the lights and water back on. That's how it worked. So for me, it was just like oh, okay. Let me go cook on the grill. Let me go boil this water. let me go get canvas. And so, for personally, that's how I dealt with it. But people around me, it was like, again, so I said, shit. I just said, like, instance, just get there. Let me holler at my neighbor. I know they don't speak a lot of English, but let me talk to the kids, which I need. You know what I mean? And so being able to be on the street that was kind of almost barricaded in, having access to what we did, you know, what we had here, I was able to at least serve my area. And so it had more of a toll, I think, on the people around me mentally than it did me. You know, just to be honest, you know, like I say, it was enough for me to boil some water and burn that growing up. I mean, that's what happened, you know. And so having to relive that, it was kind of like, you know, it's like riding a bike. I haven't rode a bike in a while. My lights ain't been cut out, and the water ain't been shut off in a long time. But I still had that experience growing up. And so that was the thing that I was telling people around me, like, look, we ain't got time to be wine and crying. Like, it is what it is. Let's go boil this water. You know, tell my neighbors, let's cook on this grill so this food don't go bad. And so that's how I am. It was kind of like, you know, it's kind of like, let's go from it.
For me, it was more, it ripped us of everything that separated us. Job titles, phones, everything, vehicles, can't go nowhere. It was limited. So it made you go next door and see if somebody had power. Check in to see if somebody, oh, you can't call nobody, your family on this side of town, you know they've been impacted. Let's walk down to the hospital down here. They got Wi-Fi, check in right there, communicate with them right quick. And so I always been operated out of complete chaos. So I did that so long in my life to produce results that when that kind of stuff happened and everybody was going crazy, I'm figuring out, yo, we need to be getting ammo, you need to be getting food, you need to be getting gas. This is like, if you ain't got it to be able to actually take care of your own household, what happens when you try to go out and help somebody else? You coming up with gas, 15 people ain't got gas, guess what? They taking that gas. And so if you make sure that everybody got gas, due to the resources that we had, hey, we got gas, we got chainsaws, we got water, and only by being plugged in, I actually got to sit back and experience, hey, call my family like, yo, come to the distribution center. We got resources here, because they in panic mode. What we do. My family rely on me. So if something happened to me, they just don't know what to do. So I'm coaching them. So this right here exposed our relationships, our communication, even on this kind of factor. It exposed that a lot of us don't communicate. And so when it exposed us and ripped the rug out from under our feet, don't none of us want to fall because we get embarrassed. A lot of ideas don't work in the storm, but you got to call. If I know you to go to man or go to woman, I got to call you and put my pride to the side. I know you got water over there. Can me and Sharon come over there and get water? I know you got eggs over there. We hungry. I know you got the grill over there. Now I know a good listener over there. I need to vent right now because I can't let them sit me cry. And then I go do that kind of stuff. So that storm actually allowed me to be human and also be a vehicle for the community that trusts me, that respect me, and know that I'm not taking advantage of.
How would you have blessed this one? So was like, it was insane, wake up, I'm slopping, her mom, brought her home. And then it was checking on people in the community. Got gas, got food, what do you need? And automatically, I just started running. Things, yeah, hey, I know you got resources, where can we find this, where can we find that? We can't get out, but we need this. I just automatically started running, showing up. Trying to keep in contact with, of course, everybody we work with, other organizations, stuff like that. And for me, it was really, really rough mentally. But as I like to take on everybody's stress, it can help down to be able to continue the stuff that I was studying. Kept me strong. Again, I'm a chance.
Yeah, well, for me, I stay in my head a lot, and I'm always doing research. And the recurring question was, what is violence prevention really look like? How am I supposed to be a better, effective teammate and a better helper in the community? And what Tony was saying about the ammo and all, what we were doing was violence prevention. It's just like, oh, if this person doesn't have it, that's going to cause some tension. They're going to do whatever it takes to get gas. It's not the moral thing. That's out the window. I got to keep my lights on or my generator running. So that was the part I was just like, man, okay. So this was it in action. And it broke down my perceived walls between my teammates. Seeing what ignited the turf, saw what got, Sean excited, you know what I'm saying, besides food, but, and like, everybody here wrapping their arms around me, and I was just like, man, okay, so now we're moving lockstep, having think tanks, and we're doing the stuff, because now I see what charges everybody, so that's what Helene taught me. Now, the mental health part, we'll save that for another situation. Yeah.
Being in the role that I see, and I hadn't been out in the community with you guys a lot. But when I was able to go out in the community with you all, I was able to see the same thing that Walter is talking about, and the difference in what drives each one of you. But it was the first time that I was actually able to see you interact with community. And I know none of y'all did it for that purpose, but talk about how it made you feel as a community health worker when you would go and check in on community members and things that were said to you, positive things that were said to you. What was your takeaway as a community health worker when those kind of things were said? How did it make you feel?
Me, I don't know, I don't even know if I even had time to kind of process that, but because I was more concerned with making sure it was okay. Once again, I go back because I deal with a lot of elderly. They can't get out. That was kind of my thought process, even though they was like, thank you. I remember, I think me, Turkey, whoever, like, some water. Someone that was shared being and thank you. Thank you. And I'm like, cool. Well, I've always been a person that has a problem with taking compliments, saying thank you. I'm like, that's how it is. But, hindsight, it does feel good to be able to go out and have someone appreciate you. And so those are things I'm learning the process with myself. It's okay to be appreciated. Because a lot of times, as men, especially black men, we're taught to be a certain way. You're supposed to do this, so you really don't celebrate nothing that you're supposed to do. And so for me, now I can sit back and say, like, you love it. So, hindsight, so good to hear, you know, and just to see people happy through all that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, I think the process is good.
I want to say for me, kind of a feel good thing, you know, you're delivering water, you're delivering food, diapers, whatever, people who needed it, they couldn't get out to get it. I'm kind of like Sean. I don't really give compliments or whatever, it's just in my nature, I'm a giver. So I don't think, you know, you need the appreciation, just the appreciation is the feel good moments when you're taking this of water to somebody wheelchair bound that ain't gonna ride. Giving diapers to a mom that can't get out, and her kids running out of diapers. But, yeah, appreciation for our whole entire team, and how we live, and how we work together. You know, reaching community members that don't have to reach out to them on a regular basis, you know. You might be delivering water and be roped into a 30-minute conversation about life, but at the same time, it's like you knew that was their mental stuff for you to at least listen to them. And that was
Because for me, as our visitation became predictable, that it wasn't a heavy lift anymore. When you knock on somebody's door, you know, technically I am a stranger, but the CHW part, they didn't know what that was. But after the second or third, oh, yeah, you're the community health worker. Oh man, thank you so much. You know what? There's somebody over here that is a little afraid to talk to you at first. Can I invite them over? Absolutely. We sit on the porch and we talk. That what made me feel good is knowing that people knew what I was doing, what I was there for, and not just slamming the door and just like, no, we're good. Bye. You know, so that was the part that felt good.
That was twofold for me. One, it was the fact that people was curious. People that I didn't even talk to on social media and stuff, they was curious about what we did. And then for people that did know that some form of fashion, what we did, they would reach out and they would start by just asking, say, hey, I don't know if you can do this. Do you know anybody with this resource? Or could you see if we can drop off water or hot meals? And that's the direction I was moving and bringing information back to the group. Hey, this is what they asking for in the community. Why can't we do this? Even though we distribute and all these other things, this person asking for like the machine to check your insulin and stuff like that. So like a lot of stuff that was actually given out. Then we also had to actually sit back and see how community actually was our lifeline in the connection of what we gave out and what we ended up doing. That was my insight for us. Once the internet came back up, everybody was reaching out like through Messenger, what to do, like what we need and what we didn't.
I used to work with the youth, seeing the youth getting involved, seeing why it was so important for them to get involved. Today, to just say, damn, I'm gonna put whatever I got to the side and make sure these people got what they need. We had a lot of young kids helping. And the smiles on their face when seeing them just serve the elders or show them more respect was something that I ain't seen them do.
So before I open it up to the audience for questions, I want to show my gratitude to all of you. This is hard on all of us, it's still hard on all of us. But I saw the perseverance and the resilience of not only this team, but like I said, all the other organizations that banded together to be there for the community. But to talk specifically about you guys when I was out in the community with you, I know some of you were sick, some of you were hurting, and you still pushed through. It
was no complaining because you all understood the task at hand. We need to do this because we're responsible for these communities that we serve. And you push through that. And so from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for being who you are. So just make that clear. So at this time, I will open it up for anyone that has any questions for the panel. Can you guys talk about what preparation you got in place in case it happens again? After I guys, I know y'all still going through it, man, but the possibility of it happening, and have y'all, what measures y'all can put in place, to talk about. I immediately y'all are there yet, or thinking about, man, I know y'all still in the midst of things, but have you guys put anything in place?
I think we are in place because our connection to all these people in this building. In place. Nobody knows when another storm may hit. It could be a storm, it could be a death in the community, whatever. We're gonna rely on each other. That's our preparation, because if we ain't strategically meeting and figuring out what's gonna help our community, then we definitely gonna be behind. But that's a great question.
I think we did have some conversations about maybe having a, kind of a storage area for some of these, resources, water, food, things like that, so that if something like this happens again, then we can already have a distribution center or something in place. But preparing is like paying Florida for a snowstorm, because we wasn't, we do, I think the last one happened in 1916. 16, that was in 91 was it, but so we don't, get it. But now I think the conversation that we did have was trying to have at least a storage facility or connect with people like Manna Food Bank to see if we can coexist and have something just in case. But I think once we start having our coalition meetings again, then we can come up with a real strategic plan.
So, was there any personal lessons learned just off the cuff? One thing I have knowledge of information, you guys are doing the work for, I say doing the work was connecting networks, resources. Right? You also have to kind of like tap in different sides of yourself. He was also coming to that same rest, right? He was going to hey, I'm going to help you on something like that. I can all you need a person to come out of that because you feel like that you are able to move forward and actually.
I think we had the opportunity to actually experience the model that was being brought out. So we talk about being community health, workers, peer support, all that stuff, and then not really having an opportunity to actually apply what we know. It's just information in our head, and we kind of apply it on each other and community. But this actual, I sit back and I'm like, yo, this forced us to do our job. Community health work. This is it right here. So I'm looking at like my neighbor coming. I ain't talked to my neighbor in 15 years. 15 years. We waved at the mailbox, but he's still on my board. Like checking in. That was like I ain't talking. Now I'm going over. Hey, how you doing? We standing out there talking and stuff, and I'm like, this is crazy. A storm had to build this relationship. So yeah, that was it for me.
For me, to build on both of those, I realized that being in reactionary mode wasn't really working. See what I mean? So I coined a phrase, driving in 4 lanes at the same time. So if we're if we're addressing one issue, we have 3 or 4 things that we're assessing, or like if I'm talking to you and I'm just like, okay, you got 10 people in your house, but only 5 chairs. I'm locking that in my head. They need furniture or whatever. So when it went to the larger scale, the networking that he was talking about, the community health workers around town, like seeing knowledge or whatever, just like, yo man, you're good, you got everything. Oh, they got it over here. Go get it over there. As before, it was just like, all right, Wendy, she got her little pot, I got my little pot, and we're divvying it out without, letting her know. So now we're trying to merge some networks on the community health worker level so that we can continue and we'll work out the other stuff later. You know what I mean? Like the higher systems that we're just like, I don't know. Yes, we're having a think tank meeting. We're trying to build that robust network so that we can keep this going.
Now, quiz, you and anybody else in the room, while you said that, right? So, the number of advisors, professionals, and attorneys, in the room outside of who's inside the space. I can't be everything for everyone, but. Ooh. I can't be everything for everyone, but I. Anybody,
Why is connected to somebody?
Close, go. I can't be everything for everyone, but I can get everyone everything through a robust network.
Yes.
Listen, that's what we're talking about. What we're talking about, I want y'all to make clear, was the reason why I kept talking about before, during, and after. Because again, you guys by default, your greatest asset is that you're tuned into your community. Especially, not just on a community level, right? Because everybody has community relationships, right? Some people know people more than they know others. But you now also have to operationalize your community network to do your job. Right? So now you're using your community network to be able to help other people. Imagine this. During the crisis, you were able to tap into that existing community network, but guess what? You already have an orientation of using it professionally. So your capacity is even more enhanced. Now, you take whatever that is, and now you're moving forward. Right? And you're still doing what? You're allowing the community, having to do the work, your regular relationships, and your professional relationships. Very key piece. Everybody did brilliance in the time it was courageous in the time it was formed. Right? Everybody responded to it. Nobody was speaking that regard. Everybody. Every human being inside the space in this environment and around the world that goes through it. What's unique is that some professionals are not necessarily professionals in the community. Professionals in offices, they're professionals in other spaces, they're professionals inside of industries that may be relevant. Like construction workers, the tree workers, it was relevant. Right? But your expertise was the actual relationship between the people and the resources. That was the biggest thing needed when everything, when all the smoke cleared, and all the trees fell, and all the water kind of subdued, partially. Everybody needed resources. Make that point. It's very good.
I have more of a, not a question, but a statement. It's amazing, man, that this group did great that. That's amazing in itself, that you guys still maintain your friendship, brotherhood, sisterhood through this whole process. That says a lot about y'all as just human beings and professionals. So I just want to say that because my family from New Orleans, I guess it's been in Buncombe County. So systems, chaos, community just break down. You can see who's friends during that time. You know, the fact that you guys just maintain and still help people out says a lot about your character, says a lot about your profession.
We ain't gonna take all the credit, because I think all of us quit in our mind. All of us.
How many times?
About 5 times in one day. If I see the 18 wheeler pull up, I'm gone. Another 3 pull up. Then I call him. He called me. I talked to them. I'm like, man, don't quit right now. If y'all quit right now, what resources are we gonna provide for the community? Did we want to quit? Yes. But we know the value of us stepping out was gonna be crippling to our community. So we just leaned on each other to be able to make this work. So it only looked good at the end.
That's all we always see that.
Nobody ever see the change. They just look for the charm. We get the hang on the charm right now, but the change, we trying to keep it. Yeah, it get ripped off every time.
And I feel like a lot of us have been gotten like each other a little bit. Like, we can tell, like, if somebody automatically starts joking, it's usually a serious person. Or if somebody who's usually bubbly or has a lot to say, all of a sudden gets super quiet. I felt like it made it a little bit more for us to tune in to each other. So we could just maybe just go have a conversation back here for a second, like, good, do we need to have a conversation? Do we need to go step off for a minute and breathe? Like, it gave us more of an opportunity to know each other and be able to read each other, support each other, so we can back out and do.
All right, so as we get ready, prepare to close this panel discussion, definitely want to thank Kate Clear, coming down, providing resources, but I've been on the phone with most of y'all throughout my duration of everything that we're going through, checking in to make sure that we're good. So this has been a plan to make it for a while. But not only do I want to thank Kate Clear, but there's a lot of people that pour into Western North Carolina, from numerous places. Some of them we didn't even know how they was getting in contact with us to show up here with stuff, but they did. Thank all of those that show support for Western North Carolina. Guys, we know that we still have a long road ahead of us, not with just the storm, but also the job that we're tasked to do as community health and violence prevention professionals. But again, I just want to extend my gratitude to all of you and tell you how proud of you all that I am. And I'm going to ask everybody to give this panel a round of applause. Like